It's quiet, mate. You can't talk over here.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to this week's meeting of Essex Business Forum. May I start by first of all thanking you for your kind wishes. Very much appreciated. Let's get on with the meeting. Once again, may I say that I'm able to slide at the time of the meeting chairman, meeting, of its agenda rather, and in doing so, I'm also assisted a team by my leadership team. So to be outstanding.
So I'll share the membership committee and also the official side for that. So I'll talk Corrigan Social Secretary. That's it.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning, Nate. Morning, Stuart. Morning, Howard. I'm Terry. I deal with membership matters. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, Howard.
Good morning, I'm Scott, your meeting secretary, and it's the base of my chat.
And I'm standing in for Ben, who is our Education and Development Officer. So I'm multitasking, which is great. That's it. Please sit down. I didn't want you to get too tired, but I thought having you up on the show for a while, you're at target. Right, let's get on with the meeting. The meeting starts as usual with the performance lead, Scott.
Right, okay. So I think last week we had a little arrangement for members at the top. 5th place for B. 4th place for C. 3rd place. Nicely arranged. So we need a ball A and a ball F to come in and perform. But actually, 2nd place was Matt. 1st place was still me, so sorry. But there you go, that's the league. Well done.
Right. The education presentation. I happen to know this. Who has hang on. The first education point I think was when you're doing an education plot, make sure you don't fill it up before you get to it.
We are having that quick now.
There would be no.
I hope you don't get indigestion, by the way.
So I had a call from my sister. We just got back from Switzerland where she'd been to see some family. And I thought, well, that's nice. Well, he doesn't often call me that, to be honest. He lives in Aberdeen. We got on very well. And she said, Nick, Andy, how are you? What did I say? I've lost my phone. That's the reason for it. Can you let everyone on the friends and family WhatsApp group know I can't send text, I can't receive text? Okay, I'll tell them. I said, so wait, I hope someone finds your phone. I saw it in the back seat of the seat in front of me, coming back from Geneva. So it's on the plane somewhere. I thought I had it. I hope it's returned. Did you, silly question, Andy, did you back the phone up? Has it ever been backed up? No. Like most people, we don't back our phones up. Well, it's something that we all need to do, don't we? I hope the phone gets returned to you. It's a question I often ask my friends, family, on those occasions. What are you going to do if you lost your phone? I ask myself the same question. And we all know inside we should have backed it up at some point, or have a regular backup. We can recover our photographs easily enough, Google. But we can't recover the personal data, the little messages, the names and numbers of people that we've got very attached to. There are apps out there that enable you to do that. I'll back my phone up now. I'm very pleased and smug with myself. Everything is safely stored away on my cloud storage device. And they're easy to say and inside. So the moral of this story, of course, don't put off till tomorrow what you should really be doing today. Doesn't just apply to mobile phones, of course. It applies to business, social. If you really feel there's something that needs doing, just do it as soon as you can. Don't wait till later. Maybe too late. Thanks for listening.
Moving on, membership matters.
Yeah, thanks, Aidan. A couple of things. Actually, three things actually. Most important thing, I think, is to welcome our new member, Corey. No child test. I promise. Yes, well, look at that. Thank you. And like you can look after it.
What else? Yeah.
I'm doing the tyro credit.
And the other thing that is always quite nice is membership renewals. So one has been dealt with by our board friend Vincent on the membership committee. Great to see Mike Skinner renewed for another year. And Mike, if you want to apply for the Mark of Excellence, feel free. It's self-explanatory. Any problems that you know. We've got 3 renewals coming up, haven't we, Mr. Bullock? Oh, maybe just another year, maybe. But I'll speak to. I'll speak.
One more.
Yeah, we've got a few renewals coming up, and I'll speak to those.
Terry? Unexpected flurry of activity. Welcome, Corey. That's always great news to get a new member. Right. I think with that, we move inexorably towards the 62nd round. Your chance to announce to the world what your business does, or particularly what you're looking for this week. But before I do, let me send this box round for you to put your referrals and other slips in, please. And let me also send round the business card box. Make sure you're adequately represented in there. Take cards that you might need in order to effect a referral. All of that out of the way. Blake won the Oscar last week. He will be listening carefully. He didn't go first. And he will be awarding the Oscar. Of Bellman, after 50 seconds, you will hear an after 60. When you hear that, immediately wind up and sit down if you haven't heard the 60. Right. So, without more ado, let's get the meeting underway. The 60-second round underway. We start with Blake and Melissa follows.
Morning everyone, Blake and my wife. You go to Airsoft and Outdoor Clothing Shop. This week I'm looking to see if anyone has any introductions into TV studios or movie studios where we can supply fake guns to the box of BB guns and smokes for pyrotechnics and stuff. So if anyone knows anyone, if you can touch it, it would be beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thanks, thank you. Melissa, you are followed by Matt.
Good morning, everyone. It's Jackson and Francis. I'm a Boston's consultant. So, as you know, I deal with companies and individuals that have financial distress. We do more than decisions. Just going back to the basics of what we do. Credit liquidation, individual mortgage arrangements, administration, public mortgage arrangements, bankruptcy, and of course, liquidations. We have all sorts of clients, big and small, with a variety of issues. We offer free consultation, and we look to try and avoid insolvency. Unlike a lot of insolvency practitioners that worked with us in the past, we are actually looking to see if we can avoid them going into the insolvency situation. So if you do know anybody who is in financial distress and who wants to know what their options are, please send me my way. That's Mr. Jackson, Kenway Classes, assisting companies and individuals in financial distress.
Thank you, Melissa. Matt, you're next. Followed by Tim.
Good morning everyone, Matt. So every so often we get to work with some extraordinary brands. Sometimes they can be challenging, but at the end of the day, we produce stuff that we're very, very proud of. And this also comes, with our rebrand, I know it was mentioned last week, of LG Networks. Now, it's a bit of a brand refresh, some subtle changes to the brand to bring it up to date, but also taking that on with the messaging that we helped develop, and then also into the site that we designed, that Scott expertly built, and that Catherine word crafted beautifully. But we've just been working on
the brochure, which will be an interactive online brochure, which will relay a lot of the information that's on the website, but also allow them to create content within their invoicing system, so that they can communicate not only to new businesses, but also to their existing ones to be able to upsell and cross-sell all of their services. So that's the sort of stuff we do. If you're looking for that, please contact me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Catherine, you want to follow my job?
Hello, Catherine Foley, English Tutor Plus. I've had to hand down 4 people today who wanted tuition, which not today, but would be an early start, but this week, and started booking someone in for June when my existing year 11th year 13th has gone off to do their exams. So I'm actually looking for referrals for year 10 and year 12 students studying English who would like a tutor for their exam year next year. So if you know anyone who is in year 10 and year 12 studying English and give their flag tutor, please put them in touch with me. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Catherine. Nick, you're next, you're followed by John.
Well, as you know, I'm a structural engineer, and I spend most of my time either looking at houses for people who are buying or selling, or homeowners extend their houses or alter them in some way. For some reason, I'm doing far more structural inspections now than I've ever have done. I'm going to look at an interesting house, interesting job, hopefully, in Billericay next week. The car's gone into the side of it. I don't know why it went into the side of it. It's not really what I need to know. I need to know how badly damaged the house is, because the owners want a report, an engineer's report. They need the engineer's report for me to present to the insurance company to determine exactly the full extent of the damage, what's caused it, we know what's caused it, and what can be done about it. So that's one of the things I do a lot of. So my name's Nick, I'm a structural engineer by Carlton.
Thank you, Nick. John, you're next, and you're followed by Mike.
Good morning, everyone. John Locksmith from Lockfit Bishop Stortford. I speak every week about what I do, so I thought I'd show you one of the tools I actually use. Now, this is a letterbox opening tool, which I use if somebody has shut the door behind them and the door is locked but unlocked, they can't get back in. And essentially, what I do is I pop this all together. It's got different little bits that pop on the end, so I can open from handles to thumb turns. I then check this on the end here. Pressure's on. I can normally get somebody in pretty quick with one of these. These I've got different lengths of these, so if the handle is, if the letterbox is at the bottom but the handle's at the top, I can stack them all together and then try and pop it in. I've got my trusty mirror, so I can pop that through the letterbox, and then I literally pop it through, pop it up, and give it a knock.
It's
like
like a bourbon thing you're getting. We all look like Steve.
John from a little bit.
The chapel as well. Thanks, John. I think I can feel a game show coming. Mike, you're next, and you're followed by David.
Can you bring in a door? Sorry, can you bring in a door for your 10 minutes? We can all have a go. Mike from Brentwood. So this week, yesterday, I was working for ex-member Mason, who most of you know from Capital Cleaning when he was doing that. But he's also got a side project where he sells mobility scooters, mobility aids. So we were doing some product shoots for him yesterday. And obviously, mobility scooters are quite lumpy things. So normally, things like that, if they're small products, I get people to send them to me and I can either ship them at home or somewhere at an appropriate location. Or I've actually got a studio that I use in Chelmsford for if it's for people or larger things, we go to that. But because we didn't want to get the wheels a bit dirty and that sort of thing, we actually set it up in his warehouse. I went down there, put a load of white backdrops up, which is what I was speaking to somebody about in the video the other day. Loads of lights. Came and shut it on location for him so we didn't have to move anything around. And also because they're pretty heavy things to move about. So yeah, this week I'm really looking for more product photography stuff, be it from anything, small things like jewellery and things like that, to clothing, to large items where I can actually go and do it on site for people. That's Mike, and welcome to media. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. David, you're next, followed by
Morning everyone, I'm Dave Wall from Wall Limited, based in Brentwood. Just want to talk about, we just took and got a card machine, so we can take some payments because we generally our last one of the large trades to go in. By the time we get to that point, the client has a less budget. So obviously with the car payment, credit cards and stuff like that, but we are also looking into finance for customers as well. So to give that extra bit of where they've got a low budget to help them push it over the line, hopefully. So this week we are looking into that, and hopefully we can get that in place for that, and then that gives more options for our clients to pay us. Thank you, Florian. Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Dave. Paul C is next, followed by Jim. Yeah.
All in all, Paul from Sonsdale Plumbing Meetings. As you know, I'm one of 2,000 MCS registered companies out there in Great Britain. I've got some cards here that anyone fancies one. It basically it's got 7 questions. It's got a link on there that you can have a look. Any information you need to know about heat pumps. Basically, 7 questions on here. I won't answer them because it won't take too long. But basically, is a heat pump suitable for my needs? These are all the questions that get asked the most. Which type of heat pump is best and why? Is my system high temperature or low temperature? Why and how does installation cost vary? Are additional building works necessary for efficient heat pump operations? Can a heat pump cool my house? What capacity heat pump do I need and what impact does it have? I will answer one of these questions. There's a bit of a talk on stock tip as well. Why and how does installation cost vary? It's radiators really. I was speaking to Shannon earlier on. So basically, if you've got 15 radiators in the house and you've got to expand them all by 3 times, it costs you a fortune. If and when you do a room up, just size that radiator for a heat pump in the future. That's my top tip. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Jane is next, followed by Joshua.
Morning all, James from Brown Insurance. For today, I might speak about a policy we've just picked up of saving £5,000 in his liabilities. At the same time, picking up their fleet and finding out there's risk improvements that they were told about in March. The other broker hasn't approached that at all. And insurers are refusing to offer terms of £110,000 fleet until he does those risk improvements. Would they have been done with a broker? Right. I thought, should I speak about a claim that's got £3.5 million reserve? I spent 3 hours talking to a solicitor on Friday afternoon about. And in the end, I thought, I'm not going to bother, because it doesn't matter if it's song, poem, or interpretive dance. Quite tempting to get the award to Paul's mate anyway. So, James at Brown. What's your choice?
Thank you, James. Joshua, you will follow next up.
Hello everybody, Joshua from JADC Architect Studio. I'm not going to spend my 60 seconds talking about what I do because I'll be doing 10 minutes later today. But apart from architectural design services, just thought I'd let you know about some other services that I offer my clients. So recently been appointed to oversee a capital investment project for a charity in London. And with that, I do contract administration. So what that allows me to do is to administer a contract between my client and the builder, and that just ensures that payments are done on time, and that the only aspects that are paid for is work that has been completed. So that's just an additional service that I offer my more commercial clients. So that's Joshua from JADC Architect Studio, and you'll be hearing a lot more about what I do in my career today. Thanks.
Well, that's ruined a surprise for when you're going for your 10 minutes. Maybe the things on the desk might people make that. Thanks, Joshua. Toby, you're next and you're followed. Looks like what?
Morning, everybody. They say that Rome wasn't built in a day, and all good things come for those who wait. And definitely the same can be said about my website. It's been nearly 2 years since I asked Scott to start building it for me, and through absolutely no fault of Scott's, it's taken all that time and get it up and running. So thank you for your patience, and thank you, Matt, for your awesome design. But now finally the pole position website is finally up and running, and it's absolutely beautiful. Thank you to Matt and his team for the fantastic design. Really pleased with that. www.polepositionbusiness.com. Please do have a look. So that's Toby Acton, Pole Position Business Solutions, helping business owners overcome procrastination.
Thank you, Toby. Corey, you're next and we'll follow by Stuart.
Alright, well, hello everyone. My name is Toby Martin. Now, I thought today I'd give you an example of what we actually do here at Martin and Martin Express. This week we literally had one of our longest drives, so we went from Wokingham to Ipswich, which I think is like 140 something miles. You can imagine that's really a really long way to go just for carrying one piece of equipment. But the good thing about our service is you can do that. It gets there. So like we picked it up at I think it was 9 o'clock, and we dropped it off I think just before 12, if I remember correctly. But that's what we can. That's the type of service we can actually give as well. Now going into the actual subscription service, what we've noticed, especially being in the industry, I'll finish that next time.
Make sure you're correct. Right, Stuart, you're followed by Shannon.
Well, everybody, Stuart from Crown Service Provider. This kind of comes back to Nick's education slot. Backing up your devices, okay, whether it is your personal mobile phone, whether it's your laptop or anything else like that, the actual device itself should be, if your systems are backed up properly, completely irrelevant. Okay, you really should be able to throw that in a river, accidentally drop it in a river or whatever, okay? Go get yourself another piece of hardware and download all of that data that was on there with absolutely no loss. There is no need to lose contact details, to lose files, to lose documents, to lose your chats and all that history of data. Okay, as long as the device is backed up properly, okay, it really shouldn't be so much of a risk. That's at the end of the day just a bit of plastic and not that important. If you're any businesses that you know are looking for help with data, backup, storage, off-site security, that sort of stuff, then please put in touch with me at Stuart. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Stuart. Shannon, you're followed by Dave. Shannon, you're off.
Morning everyone, Shannon from Downton Mortgages working with Clara. Today I wanted to give you a couple of things to think about. What would you do if an older family member couldn't afford to make ends meet and you didn't have the money to help support them? What if they were so focused on leaving their estate behind that they stopped living their life? These are common situations we come across when dealing with equity release cases. However, by simply getting family together in a room to discuss their situation, it can really help people to understand what options are available to them. So if you know any homeowners who are 55 and older and might benefit from discussing their options, please have them get in touch with us. The conversation costs them nothing, and it could mean that they can start living their life again. So thank you for your time. Shannon from Downton Mortgages.
Shannon, Dave, you're followed by Leanne.
Hi everybody, it's Dave from Brentwood Electrical, we're NRC, ERC Bristol Electric, West Brentwood. This week it's been, we've been busy, just general stuff really, so we've been helping refit or changing some power in the kitchen where the kitchen's been refitted. One of the more interesting ones this week was there's a club in London, it's about 200 years old, and we was asked to go in and fit some electrics for some fire alarms. So we had to work really discreetly. All the cables were hidden, and in the end, the customer's really pleased with what we've done. We've also carried out a workshop conversion for some welders on a farm. That's an ongoing project, that one, and we're also carrying on the new build house that we've been on. The new build house, we've been on it about 6 months at the moment, and it's the customer keeps changing his mind. That's the main problem. Anything electrical wise, you know what we do. Please come to us and take Bridgewood. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Leanne, you're next, followed by Terry.
Good morning, everyone. Leanne from Interiors, and one of the services I offer my clients is actually budget control. So going back to your comment about they don't have enough money for flooring, etc. When I work with my clients, I sit down and I get to know them. I ask them all sorts of questions, and then we discuss budget and where they're happy to splurge and where they're happy to save. And flooring is usually one of the ones I say splurge, because you don't want to change it every year, you want it to last. So it's important to consider that the first time. So that's one thing I can help my clients with, and I can help everyone who knows. If they're looking to renovate, I sit with them, I discuss it, and I can see where they can save money. And usually I get trade discounts, which I'll also pass on to my clients as well. So again, if you know anyone looking to renovate, put them in touch with me. That's Leanne at Brooklyn Materials.
Good man. Terry, still followed by who's
Yeah, thanks, Aidan. Good morning, everybody. Terry Manning from CM Law. A couple of weeks ago, you may recall I did a 10-minute presentation. Might not remember it. And I mentioned that some solicitors are not as scrupulous as others. And I came across an example this week. I took over a case from a firm up in Merseyside. When I took it over, it was obvious the solicitors had made a real pig ear of it. They'd lodged the claim 3 times. They'd said my client was the driver of a car, he was a motorcyclist. They said he had headaches and dizziness. He had a broken knee and broken ankle. Yeah, and when I took the file over, I helped him with a complaint to him. So the case is now finished. I've just wrapped it up, got a nice little settlement for him. The solicitors who made such a pig deal of the case now want a good chunk of his compensation. Because they've signed him up for an agreement where they take a percentage of what he gets. They're looking for 25% of what I got him. So I'm now busy firefighting, trying to persuade him it wouldn't be the best thing to do by writing a letter of claim of negligence against him. That's Terry Manning, CM Law.
Terry? Vincent, you're followed by John Hammond.
Good morning, all. Vincent from Speedprint, based in Ganshill Village. I've been asked some stupid questions over the years. It's my shop. I don't understand what part of that huge sign that says Speedprint they don't get. Question 1. Do you ever need the services of a Japanese interpreter? Never really thought about it before. Is there a builder's merchant around here? Yeah, Arnold's up the road. Do they sell scrapers? Do you sell hinges? How much are your sofas? Do you re-ink cartridges? No, you need cartridge work just over there. So you don't do cartridges? No. Do you know how much they charge? Where can I buy some string? I don't know. Try the string shop. Can you write me an invoice for these business cards that I had printed elsewhere? Absolutely. And finally, you'll be pleased to know, hope you've all finished your breakfast. Can I use your toilet? My hemorrhoids have just ruptured. I'm happy to answer any questions if they're about printing. So just like to end off by saying Speedprint, we're the best printers in the world, without question.
Just trying to work out how to control Thank you for Mr. We'll finish your breakfast, won't you? John Hammond is followed by Howard Bullock.
Good morning, everybody. By now you should know who I am. I'm John Hammond from Germany Technology. We do anything to do with security, like CCTV, access control, or intruder lock. And following on from Jonathan, if you've got a lock on the front door, get an intruder alarm, because Jonathan can break it as long as everyone out. Modern alarms are dead simple. The Ajax is a brilliant piece of kit. It also sends you photographs of what's happening inside your building. So if the intruder alarm activates, you can actually see it on your phone, you can see the photos, and you can alert somebody that someone's working. And if you can see somebody, you can call the police yourself. So that's John Hammond from JADC Technology, applying technology to security.
Thank you, John. Howard, you're followed by Scott.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Today I'm seeing a client and he wants me to brief him on what's going on in the world, what's the year ahead likely to be like. And there's a lot of noise out there, but I've been talking to fund managers, I've been reading their reports, and I thought I'd share with you what I've discovered. They think largely the year ahead is going to be pretty good for the world economy. The world economy is going to grow. That's going to be led by the US. And I'm sorry to say that the rest of the world, the UK, Europe and Asia, is probably going to lag behind a little bit. We don't know by what degree, because a lot of that's going to be led by the tariffs that Trump imposes. But even with those tariffs, it's probably not going to be disastrous for the world. So, for example, if the EU puts a 60% tariff on China, that's only going to reduce their growth from about 5.2 to 4.5. This is all very interesting stuff like that. But my client laps up. The other thing that they're quite keen on expressing these fund managers is that inflation probably isn't going to drop as quickly anymore as they once thought. So inflation might come up over where it is and might even creep back up again. And again, that's largely led by Trump because a lot of his policies are inflationary. So we are, get over it, deal with it.
Right, thank you, Howard. Thank you, Mr. Scott.
Good morning all. Scott from SEO, creating websites, but also online promotion and marketing and managing sites. And I just thought I'd talk about a new service this morning and try and show you a visual idea. So this particular tool allows you to look at a map and see with a traffic light colour scheme how well you're ranking in your local area. So this is a search for Essex Business Forum. The keyword that we were looking for was business networking group, centred around one in the middle being right here where we are now. So I can see that around Essex, this is a 5x5 grid with 10-kilometre distance around it. So you can just see how that's working. It's pretty interesting if where you rank locally, if you're a geographically bound business, it can really be helpful to understand how well you perform. And if you're not doing so well in Goodstone, but you're doing really great in Chelmsford, think about the topics and the things you write down in your blog and how you can market to those areas. $25 a month to get that info. Talk to me if you want it. Thank you very much.
Jane is followed by me, who is followed by Paul.
Hello everybody, it's Jane here. I've been allowed to go off piste and not talk about food offerings because Roger's a very poorly boy and not able to help at the moment. The only thing that's worrying as well is that his surgeon is Adam Hussein, which is only a letter S away from something very worrying. Anyway, so I'm allowed to tell you about our Airbnb in Norwich because we do rent that out. It's a gorgeous little cottage. It's a Georgian cottage and it's available for 2 days at a time and it sleeps 4 and each bedroom has a bathroom en suite. It's actually nicer than our Essex house, which means we go and stay there and we come home and go, oh no. So it's cozy, it's cute, it's right next door to John Lewis in ancient Norwich. And it's a beautiful city full of restaurants and history and cobbled streets and so on. So yes, if you visited my house in Essex, it's not necessarily the same. Yes, dear.
Could you send details of that to Google, please?
I would love
Be lovely.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Do you allow that? Very well behaved ones that don't necessarily speak people. Okay.
Thank you very much, Jane. My first offering of the year, therefore I'm looking forward to the year. And I just remind you as to what I do and what I cover. I cover employment law, enforcement contracts for employers, advice on redundancies, but also taking you through, as it goes through, the Workers' Rights Bill, which will have an awful lot of changes. Commercial leases, acting for both landlords and tenants. Commercial contracts that include standard terms and conditions that you might need. And finally, the private work, wills, master plans and concerning. So, if all of you could just find me one of those during the year, that would be great. Don't do it all at once, though. I don't want to do it that much. I'll thank you very much. That's Aidan Squire from TM Law. And that leaves Mr. Booth.
Good morning, Paul Booth from Booth Chartered Certified Accountants based in Brentwood. By the 31st of January 25, HMRC are due to have received a lot of information from platforms such as Vinted and eBay about personal individuals. If they've sold more than 30 items or value of more than £1,700, they will get a report by those online sellers. And HMRC will then consider if they completed self-assessment tax returns, and probably if they haven't, and there's quite a high value, issue inquiry notices. Same thing with interest received. HMRC are getting a lot of interest from the different institutions on the interest received. So if you haven't declared that and there's a tax liability, people could be in trouble. So I'm looking for people who haven't notified HMRC. Please put in my group for good code. Be nice tax as well.
Thank you very much indeed, Paul. That is the end of the 62nd round. Thank you all for your contributions. Voted like. Award the Oscar.
Thank you. Good 62nd yesterday. At least it wasn't all doom and gloom from the naughty corner today. Good. It was some good news. James, I'm quite enjoying you moping for a week, so unfortunately I want to see you mope a bit more. I mean, so this week it's very to John, because I've literally told him this morning where I live. I don't want to get broken into. This week goes to John, please don't break it. You go for the long broken into.
Well done, John. The value of bringing results. Excellent. Right. Let's move on. Moving on is meeting secretaries report. We got for us.
So, next week is the last week that we can take in any of your V-Forms data for this current year. So I would love you to please, you'll just double check back through your records. If you haven't collated that spreadsheet, all the stuff you forgot, or whatever, get it in the system so that we can close down our year and then report to you on how we performed in the upcoming weeks. So that's that one. We've got a number of new members who haven't got a profile photo and haven't got fully up to date, fully finished member profile pages. There's also a load of long-serving members who are equally just as bad. So take a moment, do yourself a favour, review your own member profile page on the EBF website, please, and just think, is it all here? Have I got a proper, decent description of my business? Can I improve this? And if you can, then send me the info. We'll need to update, please, not all at once. But yeah, take a moment to do that. Website, for some members at least, does rank really, really well. If you've got a good profile that really describes your business, it can outrank your actual website on Google search results, as we say for some members. Certainly for Nick, it works brilliantly, bringing in traffic better than these actual websites. You're very welcome. Very well. So there we go. Take a look. Thank you.
Let's go on. James, I believe there's a synergy between the meetings.
There absolutely is. So it's straight after this meeting. Corey, we do these once a month here. And if it's not so cold, we gather outside. And if it's like a week, we'll probably gather in a corner. And we have about a half-hour discussion to brainstorm a topic. And this week's topic is that it's about the new year. And it's new year for you and your family. So share any new strategies or plans that you might have for your business and how they could benefit your customers in 2025. So please stay after if you can, and I send round the note after, and you get brownie points for attending.
Thank you, Jane. Meeting secretary report, Scott.
Yeah, it's an idea that we threw around, and I forgot to say it, so apologies. Curious on your opinion on this, and we'll do a hand up if you think it's a good idea. Should we introduce a badge spotter? Somebody with the job of just recording the badge, put a couple of points each week on the performance they give you bothered about it. If no one gives it there, there was someone suggested to me that actually it could be a non-badge spotter. You could just, these people visiting with their badge, and we take it away, or we give it up to people who do. Somebody has suggested it to me. I was curious as to whether you think it's a good idea or not.
We're not communists, sorry.
Saves me some work, thank you.
The only problem is partly we all have different motivation for this. I've lost mine, and so I got a new one. And somebody stupidly suggested that we kept them here. Well, since then I've lost mine again. I put it in the jacket, and I couldn't find it in the pockets of the relevant jacket. So I'm going to try hard, and next week I will try and wear my badge.
Let me tell you where to put it back, because I'll tell you where John found his last week. It's fallen off. John.
Well, it was actually in the car seat stuck on the magnet. And he wouldn't know where to grab it, his luggage out. And then I put it in my laptop bag, I lost it in there, so I put it into the laptop when I pulled it out. So are we still leaving our bag here? Yes, we are.
I'll leave somebody else to negotiate that. Well, right, let us move on to the next major part of the meeting, which of course is the 10-minute presentation. Ben sent round yesterday, I believe, the lineup for future weeks as to education slots and the 10-minute presentations. So I'm not going to run through that, partly because I'm familiar. But check on that, make sure you're up to date, make sure you're ready, contribute at the appropriate time. And if you're not, let Ben know immediately, please. Right. She's trying to give it away. It's Joshua who's 10 minutes it is today. A brief rundown for him. His business name is JADC Architect Studio, and his position with the company is as a director. The business is architect. The business location is Chelmsford, and areas covered include London, east and south east of England. His spouse is Katie. And his hobbies are cycling, attempting to play golf and basketball. His other interests are his Christian faith, and his hometown is North London, and he's currently living in Brentwood. He's been doing this for a couple of years, but he'll tell you more when he does it. Right. His burning desires are to become an architect developer, and something that nobody knows about him. In his teens, he was considered for an American basketball scholarship, so he's obviously better at basketball than he is at golf. Joshua, the floor is yours.
Good morning all. I am extremely nervous, but someone has advised me just imagine you're all naked.
You don't have to imagine it, Josh.
Right, yeah, so as you all know, I'm an architect. Just to give you a brief sort of background about how long I've trained for, I've trained for a total of 13 years. It doesn't usually take 7 years to become an architect, but I've benefited from working for a lot longer under some award-winning architects, which has really played a part in my getting to where I am right now. So what I thought I'd do is I'll just introduce you to my business through the different projects that I've had the pleasure of working on. My sort of approach to architecture is very much problem solving. I grew up playing Tetris, it was my favourite game. Whenever I look at a house or a piece of land, I'm just seeing shapes, I'm seeing spaces, I'm seeing zones, and I'm seeing a puzzle. But the great thing is with this puzzle is I get to make up the rules, but then I also get to break the rules, and I get to help my clients not only transform their home, but also the way they use their home. So a lot of the projects that I tend to work on, by the end, the client feels empowered to maybe get a new piece of furniture or bring in an interior designer like we have to really sort of take it to that next step. So what I thought I'd do is I'll talk about some significant projects that I've worked on and what were sort of significant aspects to me. So I'll start off with this project here. This was so it was a 2-bedroom property in Brentwood, and the client was a developer. And what they simply wanted to do was to turn it into a sort of more ample family home. And I was competing with another architect at the time to get the main design. That architect was my boss, so that was quite funny. And I won. And the reason why I won was because I did the minimal amount of extensions to get the maximum impact of development. And that's another sort of thing that my company is about. We want to help our clients unlock the full potential of their property, but you don't have to do that by doing the biggest extension. I think often when I talk to other people and they say, oh, I want more space for my property, they think more space means lots of space. But actually it's about designing functional spaces that allow you to just have a better flow in your property or have a better connection, because our homes are where we spend time with our families, and we just, or not everyone is in their home with their families, but we've all got a way of living, a lifestyle that our homes should allow us to have. So with that one in particular, it was about minimal amount of extension. Next project I'd like to talk about just briefly. This was a property in London Colney, and the client wanted to enlarge their kitchen, and they wanted to do a form of reconfiguration that meant that I would need to be liaising very heavily with builders. And that's another sort of key strength, I would say, of the company that I'm running, is that we're team players. So as you know, I'm a basketball player. And basketball is all about teamwork. You can have a basketball game of 1-on-5, but you're going to have to be working very hard to try and get the win. So with this, it was about coming up with a design, but starting very early on with the builder. So usually what would happen is an architect in their studio would do all their drawing, they wouldn't really involve anyone, they'd have their vision, and then they go to the client and say, right, I know you've been living in this house for 10 years, but this is how I think you should be living. And I know better than you, all this sort of stuff. I'm the complete opposite. I come in and I say, right, you've been living in this house for 10 years, you're going to be the expert of how you want to live in this house, but it's my job to help take your vision and make it a reality, and make sure it will comply with planning, make sure it will comply with building control. So with that, it was a very hands-on job, but it was myself working with the builder, and it became a team effort. And the client's very happy with it, and there will be a promo video coming soon of how that project looks. Now this next project that's coming round, the client was a builder, and it was actually his house. So this was a really fun one for me, because the end user and the person actually helping to bring the vision to life, the builder, was the client. And there was a very tricky aspect where we had to try and do something that I could find no example of anywhere. And we basically had to build a dormer on a valley, which is quite complicated for a builder. And that's because it requires a lot of complex geometry. And that's where I was really in my element, because I think one of the strengths of architects is that we can visualise things in 3D. So I could walk around the property and I could already start mapping it out with my head, how it's going to look, or how an alteration might look. And that then allows me to start drawing it out for my clients. And as well as the 2D drawings that you see on the boards that are going around, I also do 3-dimensional drawings using various different softwares. If I had the time, I would make physical models, because I just enjoy model making, but I don't get paid enough to do that. And I would hate to have to do revisions, because I'll be there forever. And I've just seen I've got a minute and a half. Whoever told me the time goes far. I'll just send through the last one. So this project that's coming round was a project I did under the guidance of a very good architect in Brentwood. So I had to lead that. That was the extension of a 5-bedroom house, and the client just wanted a nice bigger bedroom, walk-in wardrobe, ensuite, the works. And it was a very interesting project for me as well, because there were a lot of trees on the site, and as an architect, I have to be able to look ahead and connect the dots. So I have to get to the site, see if there's any trees on site, see how close the building is to boundaries, because I've got to figure out stuff like parking wall. And I've got to, although I'm not the structural engineer, I've got to have an idea of what sort of structure might be needed, because you're going to want to be able to afford all this grand design that I'm offering. So yeah, that was a fun little project, and I think I'm going to end it there. So thank you for listening, everyone. I'm hoping I've covered everything I wanted to cover, but have I got any questions?
Just having a look at this one, it's interesting because the existing back aspect of that, you've got the dormers at the top. So with the new extension to the front, that's getting grand, but obviously it hides from sort of 2 of the dormers view. Was that a challenge? Was that something that the client wanted, or is that what was the dynamic of the
Yeah, so what I find with a lot of projects is that, and this is understandable, when you're thinking about extending, altering a home, you're very focused on the inside, and so often the inside then dictates how the outside appears. And there's a real sort of tug of war, because as an architect, I'm also thinking about the balance. And when I look at a building, it's got a bit of a personality. And actually, it's a bit, in design in general, we see that everywhere. You see it in car design, and when you look at the front of the car, it's the face. I think that's intentional. It just adds a bit of humour. And so with that, we just had to really balance it out. So if the client could have what they wanted, then they would, I'm just going to look at it just to remind me, they would have had a very imposing and domineering extension. Whereas we stepped it deliberately, because we just wanted to break it up. So although we did end up hiding the dormers, we still felt like we had a good overall. Because actually it does matter. People think it doesn't matter. But if you see something that's an eyesore, then it will stand out. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that's right.
I think.
Yeah, so I imagine quite frequently your vision will differ from the client's brief.
Yes.
How do those conversations go?
Yeah, so I think in the beginning, I used to wrestle with clients, and I just found we got nowhere. So I actually then came up with a service that I offer, and that's where I take your brief and I design exactly what you've asked me to design, knowing that there are going to be aspects of it that might not work that well. And then I challenge your brief with my own idea, and I say, right, this is my option, this is what I think would be best. And what I've found with that is that we then actually end up with a hybrid option, which incorporates bits of my client's ideas and bits of my own. And I think that's where my clients get they get the most they get the money's worth. Really. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Yeah. So I'll hand you up before.
In a similar vein, what sort of relationship do you have with quantity surveyors? You design and say, no, I can't afford it.
Well, I'm a bit of a strange architect in that I'm quite a generalist, and I'm very money oriented as well. Just because I get really cross at brand design because it's always the same thing.
Yeah.
Architect, design, double the budget. It's like this to make us look ridiculous. And yes, I think quantity surveyors are interesting because they do sometimes take the fun out of it, but then they're needed because actually the client has worked very hard for their money and it needs to be spent wisely. So I have a very diplomatic relationship with quantity surveyors.
Last one. Sorry. Do you assist if you take the project through? Do you go through helping clients with the planning application, building control, and you liaise with council or private room control?
Yeah, so I would say actually that's sort of the thing that you especially need someone like myself for, because it's a negotiation. You would like to think that it's black and white. Here's the planning policy. Do this, you get planning. Actually, it doesn't really work like that because it depends on which planning you get. You know, what side of the bed they woke up on that morning. You know, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I take every project through planning and building control, and I sort of have to analyse the planning policy, and it becomes again chess, where you sometimes actually it's best not to put all your cards on the table, and yeah, just take it in a process like that. So, yeah.
Excellent. Well done. Thank you. Josh, well done. It was your first, and just go through it. It's what you do. It came over very well indeed. When we get members, they often pick up nicknames, not least Vincent being the mayor of Gants Hill Village. You all love for complex geometry. Can we call you Pythagoras? Right. Let's move on. If you could do the ring, Joshua, for the referrals and testimonials round. We'll start with Paul. Move around the room.
Yeah, Paul, it's really good to know you're going to almost be like your 10th presentation. Thank you. Welcome on the call as well. Good to be involved. Got some, thank you for the monies. Mainly ex-members, but there was one from that, good one from that Larry, but I'll just start the £4,000 in total. Good meeting.
That was great. Really good. Really good. I had a great one-to-one with Catherine a couple of days ago. Excellent. I'll see you next week.
Really good. Thank you. Yeah, I just always think in 10 minutes you just stand up and talk about what you know and you love, then it's always good. That really good. I have put in a testimonial for next week this week. I've also caught up on all my money packages, of which there were 28, so I've not written out 28 bits of paper, but I will say thank you to 11 former members, 2 for Howard, 2 for James, 2 for John, 2 for Paul, and 1 for Aidan, Clara, Matt and Scott. But the winner was 5 for Terry May. Thank you very much. That's 6 months worth. That's not in the top.
Great meeting, welcome Corey and Esther. 10 minutes. I really like your methodology is very similar to mine, so yeah, it's really, really good. You obviously know your owners, fabrics, and everything else. Matt, numbers. Right, I've got a thank you to Lonnie, to Stuart. Yeah, thank you to Lonnie, to Scott.
Mate, you're only going to have to take them all back and get the right one given out.
Oh, yeah.
He's new here.
Thank you to the next member, and I've got a referral to Howard. Thank you. Thanks, that was it.
That was really interesting, Joshua. Very good. And a good answer. Just one thank you to Matt.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Straight back. Yes. That's it for this week. Thank you.
I was brilliant. Really enjoyed that, mate. And I absolutely need to get one-to-one, particularly at some point. I just find it fascinating. So maybe I'm busy the next couple of weeks, but out today would be really good to. Good. Yeah. What else we got going on? Thank you for the money to Mason and to Neil. Neither of them are here, so don't worry about that. And thank you to Vince for presenting for me. So I'll see you all next week.
Good. Well,
Thank you everyone for being such good listeners to my presentation. I was very nervous, but actually it seems like it went well. And yeah, see everyone next week.
It was indeed a very confident 10 minutes. Really good. We must have a one-to-one, really. I know I'm saying it was a busy one time. Welcome, Corey, having everyone on board. And thank you to Paul for your referral, your cousin Michael. We did almost speak yesterday, a big exchange to Paul. Appreciate it. See you all next week.
Yes, look, Nick, let's get to it for it, have a chat. Excellent 10 minutes. It's just you can tell you've got a real passion for it, and not all of us share the same passion for a job. So, we spoke about getting to one-to-ones, one-to-ones, we'll get that sorted soon. So, yeah, see you all next week.
Good mention.
Yeah, thank you for that. Now I've seen how your process is. I'm very confident in having this referral to you.
Thank you.
Great 10 minutes. Great as Scott, Nick. Everyone should back up their phone. You can back up on cloud service, like Stuart said as well. So you can back up with content. And I look forward to mentor all of you. We'll sign later.
Thank you for the money to Terry for some updates that we're doing for that.
This one kind of goes to John, but it should probably be given to Blake because Blake's the guy who's turning up at my house after the meeting this morning. We rescued John's referral. Blake's doing it. We rescued some cats last week to Siamese boys. My previous cat never set my alarm off for the 3 years I lived in that house, but these two new bigger cats do. So I haven't been able to put my alarm on until last week. So Blake's going to come and pet friendly my own alarm. I hope.
Does that involve bringing a large sack?
So it's an airsoft.
Yeah, large sacks. That's really breaks. Right. I've got a referral for Paul Blue, which I will be seeing him about, and James referral for sorting out my house insurance, which is just slightly out of date. And Howard, thank you very much for your guidance thus far in my financial journey. We all have journeys, don't we? Right, and yes, Joshua, as I said before, well presented, and it, as Nick said, we can see your passion for it, so we look forward to more 10 minutes, which will be easier than next week. Thank you.
Well done, Joshua. It's been 10 minutes, mate, for your first one anyway. I feel you're nervous, like I can't speak. Welcome forward to the group, and see you next week.
Well done, Joshua. I was nervous for you, mate. Just wanted to add that. Thank you for the money to.
That gives him most of confidence.
So he's not alone in being nervous. We were all nervous for you. Shall I say that? Yes, man. I'll give you a referral for that. Thank you for the money to Mr. Michael over there. That's it, poster, already mentioned. We'll see you all next week.
Thank you, Billy. It's a lot, Nick. And right, 10 minutes, Josh. You did seem nervous, it's all right. Perfect. I disagree. Thank you. Well, thank you for the money to Toby. Yeah, hopefully that's all sorted out.
Yeah.
And also a referral, which Nick's already thanked me for, to my cousin Michael. Thank you.
Welcome, Corey. To usual services one day, hopefully. Really good 10 minutes, and I echo what has already been said. You're very enthusiastic and didn't seem nervous at all. Thank you for the end slot as well. I'm going to back up my phone. I haven't done that in ages. Got a thank you for the money, but it's for a next member. And I'll see you all next week.
Well, before if you remember, I'm really sorry I gave Blake as a mentor. It might have been a mistake, but it's done. And yeah, well done, really excellent, very professional 10 minutes. We really enjoyed, looking forward to working with you. We had a great one-to-one, didn't we?
Yeah.
He didn't think it was great. I really thought it was on a bicycle. It was about 2 degrees.
Yeah.
And I promised him no hills, but there were a couple. Yeah. Apologies for that. But no. Looking forward to getting to know you more and looking for some one-to-ones with new members. Dave Moore, John, Andy, Corey, Catherine. Be in touch.
Yeah, welcome, Corey. You know, with Blake's mentor, you've got to come out playing airsoft with us.
That's true.
Absolutely essential.
Oh, am I shooting you too then?
I'm too quick, yeah.
Right.
Fantastic slot, Nick. I don't think anyone else mentioned it. Thought I would. So, no. Very good. I did back up my phone, as Scott knows, because he's still on my desktop as well. Yeah, I thought you were very cool, calm, collected, not nervous at all. And as you know, I once wanted to be an architect, ended up as a quantity surveyor. Goodness knows why. Howard, thank you for the clothes for the homeless charity. Tall Paul, thank you for getting my league sorted. Small Paul, Old Paul, why are you? Old Paul? There's Paul. Original Paul. OG Paul. There you go. OG Paul. Do you have any office space to rent currently?
Yes.
Do you have car parking spaces that come with it?
Depends.
Have a chat with you afterwards.
Okay.
And oh yeah, Leanne. I met a really interesting guy the other day who is a decorator effectively, but he does stuff with liquid metal and amazing stuff. So I thought it would be a great clip. So, don't want to. Yeah. Is that it? Yes. Cricket. Cricket.
Well, Pauline, good let's got there. Well done, really good. I don't think you would have it was great, and I look forward to working with you in the future. And I've got a referral for Talpole. I don't know whether she contacted you yet, but my daughter's tutor has been lecturing for the kitchen.
Oh, it's the kitchen, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
No, right.
He's got.
I'll see you this morning.
Yeah. Cheers, man.
Yeah, correct sense. Nice to meet an architect and know what he's talking about. Even my property was that you don't design buildings to be maintained or and nice to see you join Corey. Hopefully we'll use your service in the future. Great ace got Nick. Referral for Blake. We bought 2 gun storage cases off them, not to store guns, to actually ship electronic spares around Europe. So they're nice packed in the gun cases so I won't get damaged. I've got the referral for Scott for doing my web form because we had a lot of spam forms being filled out. Scott's corrected it. And I've got another referral for Blake for an M4 mag and some smokes.
What's how long to go down the offering for that? I mean, I'll just mag some smokes.
We also like.
Excellent 10 minutes, that's great. It was really interesting to see the work that you do and like everyone said, you're very passionate about doing it all. So welcome Corey, and I have a referral for
Yeah, that was really interesting. I always wanted to be an architect, but I was rubbish at anything beyond the pieces, so it didn't really work out so well. And yeah, thank you for the advice for back at my phone. I've got no idea how to do that, but I know a man who knows. It's just one problem, but how. Thank you.
Excellent 10 minutes, really enjoy that. We can get on to Brian, following the house that. This is a referral to Vincent at carrying out the on a new sign. Excellent explanation of it, and yes, if the man can help me, I need help too. I will have the referral for the who's established in my boiler service. That's it.
Thank you. I have really enjoyed that. We love anything to do with design and visuals as well. And I feel we're going to have many long talks about what to do with our built land. This is for Blake. I don't know if I put you in touch with them before. The Essex Film Office was created to help the film industry in Essex. We want to rival Cornwall, get rid of all that pulled up Cornwall thing, and have something associated here. We're doing quite well, but if I can help further with that, because I'm on the board of Visit Essex, but they have a list of patrons for filming, places where you can explode things for filming, and so on. So if you can get on the list, it might be of use. That's that one. Thank you. You all right?
Simon Essex, they used to come to.
Yeah.
Yes. Isn't it? I don't know. Is that
on TV?
Yes, I think he's side step.
Format.
Yes, but no, we're trying to make Essex the film location now, so it's a good moment for doing that. Corey, welcome. It's very nice that we're a member now, and I think that's my lot. Thank you, viewers.
Before you sit down, Speaker's Prize from today, because a winner. The person is from which is Clara, the Shannon.
Okie doke. Yeah, that's the end of the meeting. Before I send you on your way into what looks like bright sunshine at the moment, the storm's to come tomorrow. So make the most of it. As always, I open the floor if anybody's got announcements they want to make. Jane needn't bother because we all know that afterwards we're going out there. Anybody else? Matt?
I prefer to Paul.
Well, it's a joint venture.
Yeah.
Yeah, 28th of Feb, wine tasting event. I think we've got 6.
We've got 6 go. We need two more ideally to have a whole
Yeah.
table.
That's it, yeah. I'll put it all on messages and emails. If we can get 2 more. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, superb.
If not, do the 6 of us get the 8 persons worth of wine?
Yes. I think it's a great show. Yeah.
Just split the
I wonder if other people can't come.
Sounds like a plan. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? No, you're only gone. Right, I will send you on your way. Good turnout today, 25. Let's hope we keep it up for next week. Look forward to seeing you all then.